The August jobs report came out this morning. I'm grateful for everyone who found work again and found a glimmer of hope that brings them back from the edge. But there is real cause for concern as well. The pace of the job gains in August was slower than July, significantly slower than in May and June. More and more temporary layoffs are turning into permanent layoffs. 28 million people have filed for unemployment. And after 6 months in the pandemic, we're less than halfway back to where we were, with 11.5 million Americans not getting their jobs back. We're still down 720,000 manufacturing jobs. In fact, Donald Trump may be the only president in modern history to leave office with fewer jobs than when he took office. I talked to a lot of real working people. Ask them. They feel like they're being left behind. Ask them, how do they feel about the economy coming back? You'll find they don't feel it. And that's why I'm here today, to thank Paul Calistro and his team for hosting us at West End Neighborhood House here in Wilmington. Paul, your continued tradition of doing God's work for this community is important. This has been around for more than 130 years, through pandemics, wars, depressions. West End has been here for generations of people who are just looking for a chance, not a handout. Just a fair shot at a good job, a safe place to live, and a better life to pass down to their kids. This is a special place for the Biden family. My daughter Ashley, a social worker, was a caseworker here, helping young people who were aging out of foster care. When my son was the Attorney General, Bo came here, right here, to learn more about job training programs for those working toward a GED and a certificate for a good-paying job. When I was senator and vice president, there were plenty of economists I had around me to talk about every aspect of the economy. But I always think about the people who walk through the doors here, working people, white, black, brown, Latino. What are they doing? Are they okay? I knew if they're okay, as they walked through these doors, the economy was doing okay. If they weren't okay, we weren't doing well. That's what we should be thinking about in this latest jobs report. But the report reinforces the worst fears and painful truths. The economic inequities that began before the downturn have only worsened under this failed presidency. When the crisis started, we all hoped for a few months of a shutdown would be followed by a rapid economic turnaround. No one thought they'd lose their job for good or see small businesses shut down en masse. But that kind of recovery requires leadership. Leadership we didn't have and still don't have. And as a result, economists are starting to call this recession a K-shaped recession, which is a fancy phrase for what's wrong with everything about Trump's presidency. The K means those at the top are seeing things go up, and those in the middle and below are seeing things go down and get worse. It's no surprise, because at root of this is the fact that Trump has mismanaged the COVID crisis, and that's why it's a K-shaped pandemic. First, the president's chaotic mismanagement of the pandemic is still holding us back. Compared to other major industrial countries in Europe and Asia, during the pandemic, our unemployment rate is still more than double, while other nations have only gone up by half. Why? Because the president has botched the COVID response, botched it badly. I've said from the beginning, we can't deal with an economic crisis until you beat the pandemic. You can't have an economic comeback when almost 1,000 Americans die each day from COVID, when the death toll has reached about 200,000, when more than 6 million Americans have been infected, when a million more worry about getting sick and dying as schools and businesses try to reopen. We all know it didn't have to be this bad. It didn't have to be this bad to begin with if the president just did his job.